No, so you're broke. All right, well, you're gonna have to start doing this then, all right? So if you're trying to get by in this game and you're not wanting to spend a dime, okay, well, I can tell you from experience, you're not gonna be having T5s, okay? You pretty much have to spend to have Lunite, so that's just a given. If you think you're gonna be a rally lead, you're gonna have to kiss that goodbye. Now, as far as trapping goes, it's still possible. If you want to be a filler, that's totally possible. Now, how do you do it? All right. That I think is ultimately going to come down to a couple of things. Right. You want to very quickly get down to the number one or the top 50 if you can in Coliseum. You want to basically yoink the living shit out of that as much as you possibly can. And you want to work on your familiars. And more specifically, you want to get basically these abilities. You want to get the Stroke of Fortune, the Lucky Stars, refreshed, Gather Round, Gold Digger, and then you also want to make sure you get in a Flash and Ready to Rumble and Ship Away. And then if you want overtime, you will find that Convocation will come in handy. But again, one of those things that as you build up, you will gather it. If you find yourself trading a lot of resources as well, you'll also want to get Seasoned Courier. But the reason I bring this up is because familiars are just a given. And obviously, if you aren't already dumping everything into the trove, then that is a huge, huge, huge freaking must. Now, I would say beyond that, if you are still really struggling, and that's, let's say for a minute you're very early in the beginning of the game or mid game, or you haven't been playing the game for years on end and you just came back. I mean, really, about all you can do is you need to save your speed ups. And the way you do this is just go in, take your STA. I like to do Death Archer, and I just do the Elite 7-3, and I do this every single day. I wipe out all of my STA and I save all of my speed ups. I do not use them. Okay, so what you do is you just continuously build them, and then you wait for events like this, where, okay, now you're going to get 2x on your speeds. And you're just going to do the event. You're going to get your gems. You're going to get your Watcher medals. You're going to get your extra speeds, and you're just going to keep rinsing and repeating and doing these because you're going to maximize the returns. Obviously, you can do this during Guildfest. You can do this during other events as well, but I personally like doing it when I know I'm going to get the most back for my money. You know, it's ultimately a way of avoiding having spent that time and energy if you're broke anyway. Like, that's honestly the only little things that you can do to leverage. Obviously, like, if you're not already doing it, you need to be doing trial by fire because you're getting books. You're going to get all of the necessary materials you're going to need and artifacts through this for the most part every day. Plus, it's giving you guild coins. Okay, now guild coins are a really big thing too because, you know, just like anything, what are you going to use those guild coins on? I preferably like to avoid having spent those things on things that are stupid. So, for example, if you like to relocate a stupid amount for some reason, you're probably dumping your guild coins right now into, of all things, migration scrolls, because this is the most cost efficient way to do it. Honest to God, you really cannot ask for anything better. However, should you just spend your guild coins willy nilly? No, you shouldn't. You should probably save those as well. Okay, wait for events like Guildfest so you can use the points on the quest by spending the coins. Okay, it's just little things like that. It makes a huge difference. You'll thank me later. Beyond that, though, if you are still struggling and you're broke and you still don't have an army and you're struggling like to keep your lead, you're having a hard time in general just progressing. Let's say you haven't even got to Castle 25 yet. One thing you can still do if you're still really struggling is you actually want to make sure that you find a dead kingdom. So if you find yourself getting pwned by people that are like 2 billion might on a regular basis, you need to go find a dead kingdom, okay? Just pick a kingdom between 1 and 500. I've done them. I've actually looked. There are less than 1,000 to 2,000 players in the top 500 kingdoms in this game. So from 1 to 500, you are going to find less, on average, about 1,000 people, as opposed to going to the newest kingdoms, which are anywhere between 2 or 3,000. If you're above like 1,200 in those kingdom ranges, if you go any higher than that, you'll very quickly end up in the range of like 10 to 15,000 players in the server. Okay, So if that is a problem, then I recommend moving and going somewhere else, because oftentimes you can go into those older kingdoms and then you won't have as hard of a time being messed with, and you can get into the Colosseum without a whole lot of trouble because there's literally no one there. And the big thing is you don't want to go into kingdoms where there's like a stupid amount of might. The only way you're going to know this really is you can ask somebody that's a billion might in your guild, or if you have anybody in your guild that's super big, because if they can't move there, chances are then it's a good kingdom for smaller players, because basically we're might restricted in a sense by kingdom rank, and so the smaller the kingdom rank is, it makes it more difficult for people that are a billion might or higher to go into said kingdom. Which is why, if you find yourself in an old kingdom that is in that situation, you'll actually more than likely be pretty safe there. Now, I think beyond that, I mean, if you're going out of your way and you want to rack up some actual freaking stuff over time, one thing you want to make sure you do is just scout around. You want to find castles and you just want to loot what you can off of them, because it's basically free resources. It's free real estate. You might as well go out of your way and grab it because you're not going to lose anything from doing it. The only thing I really advise you not doing is finding yourself in the middle of a hive of an opponent guild, for example, and then getting caught with your pants down. Because, yeah, if you do find yourself attacking somebody and you are unshielded, you do run the risk of losing your stuff. So you do need to be careful as far as that goes. I mean, if you're going to do it, just realize that you could also lose. It's a win-lose situation. You could lose everything, and you could also get everything. Just make sure that you know that in advance. As long as you know that in advance, you'll be fine. Now, beyond that, I would say that if you've gone out of your way, you've gathered resources, you've built up your armies, and you're still struggling. I mean, obviously, you can shelter every 12 hours. I personally, what I do is pop 7 days. And I've got a video that you can watch if you would like to learn more about that. I've really got into the nitty gritty of just how to get gyms a little bit easier, but that is not today's video. So without further ado, I would say that if you are still struggling and you're still broke and you're having a hard ass time, the only other thing you can do is actually go join a guild and schmooch off them, of all things. Go join guilds that spend a stupid amount of money, because you'll get all the gifts. And if you join monster hunting guilds, you'll get all the gifts. And if you smooch off of other guilds, there is evidence to suggest that this is in fact a strategy for a lot of free-to-play players in the game. If you want to go around smooching people, though, I warn you, you will get people that'll get fairly pissed off at you. I look at the Lord's Mobile Reddit every day, and I see it all the time. Where people join and they'll schmooch, grab their shit, and get the fuck out. Totally fine, I get it. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. But, needless to say, that is what I would recommend you do if you're broke as. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.